The government is taking action and requesting the blocking of the Shein platform. The reason, as you know, is the sales.
In 2008, in a small apartment about 300 kilometers from Shanghai, a young geek made his own bet to create a fashion brand without a workshop and without a store. And guess what? 16 years later, this crazy idea has reached nearly $40 billion in revenue, shipping to more than 200 countries, including France. We'll cover that in detail later. And it's already worth more than older European giants like Zara or H&M. This project will become a company you know, Shein. And in a time when everyone is talking about eco-responsibility, sustainability, and slow fashion, the most popular brand in the world sells clothes for €3, mass-produced and delivered in just a few days. At the very moment when the West is talking about slowing down, Shein is speeding up and imposing its pace and model on the entire world. And as if that wasn't enough, after breaking the internet, the fast fashion giant is opening physical stores in New York, London, and soon in France. An explosive choice, since Shein is the subject of growing controversy. Local officials, NGOs, and environmental organizations are denouncing this highly polluting model. There are suspicions of forced labor, counterfeiting practices, and especially its presence in symbolic locations like the Bazaar de l'Hôtel de Ville and Le Marais. But behind this global success lies a secret that even Zara has never been able to replicate. So, how did a simple geek build the most controversial empire in the history of textiles? Why is Shein, a digital star, now moving into physical stores? How far can Shein go in conquering the world? Hi, entrepreneur mindset. Hope you're well. With all the controversies surrounding Shein right now, many of you have asked us to talk about the company. Today, I'm going to tell you how this brand blew up on a global scale. Despite all these controversies, a customer base that's becoming more informed and demanding. And of course, as always, we'll finish with the business lesson that you absolutely need to remember from this video. Come on, let's go into the workshop. It's time to discover how Shein has woven, stitch by stitch, its global empire. It begins in industrial Shein at the end of the 2000s. The economy is booming, factories are running day and night, and a new type of entrepreneur is emerging. People who don't make things but can sell anything. Chris Su is among them, with a unique background far from fashion, having never studied design or used a sewing machine. But he mastered something much more powerful at the time: Google's algorithms. While the world is discovering Facebook, Zara is building factories and H&M is investing in designers. Chris, on the other hand, understands that real wealth is free traffic. So he spends his days observing internet users' behavior, analyzing the most searched queries to spot trends before they explode. He's a little genius, obsessed with data, a click strategist. While big brands want to impose their world, Chris wants to slip into the customer's world. You don't need fame, just visibility. Instead of opening a store or investing in inventory, he'll create a website solely to please Google. Every product title, every description, every photo is optimized for search engines. And it has to be said, this idea is brilliant. In 2008, he launched ZZ Cacao, which later became Sheinside, specializing in reselling Chinese wedding dresses at rock-bottom prices. At the time, the global e-commerce market was barely worth $230 billion compared to more than $5.8 trillion today. No ads, images, or models, just algorithms and anonymous factories. He doesn't sell clothes, he's going to sell answers to searches typed in by millions of users around the world. Against all odds, it's a huge success. Sales keep coming in, the site climbs up in the search results, and Chris realizes that he's just found something much bigger than a simple business. A loophole in the global fashion system. While the West discusses collections, seasons, and trends, he focuses on data, speed, and instant adaptation. That's where it all begins, the transformation of fashion into measurable data. Clothing is now just a statistical reaction to online demand, not a creation. But by measuring everything, Chris has created his own cage by depending on algorithms. As trends shifted, he lost control of the game. This struggle between speed and awareness will trouble the brand until its peak. For now, Chris is unaware of this. He just pressed the button that will propel his company into another dimension, because in 2015 it becomes Shein and discovers a weapon that even Zara never knew how to handle: lightning-fast production powered by real-time data. While Zara takes months to launch a new collection, Shein is going to break all the rules. Its goal is simple: be the fastest. And it's going to achieve this thanks to an idea that even the biggest brands have never dared to try: industrializing speed. Chris, the founder of Shein, is turning his company into a huge data laboratory. Every click, every like, every add to cart becomes information sent directly to hundreds of microfactories around Guangzhou, the industrial heart of Shein. Small workshops with about a dozen workers can make 50 identical pieces in one day. We're now discussing reactions, not collections. When an influencer posts a viral floral dress on TikTok, Shein reproduces it and puts it on sale within 72 hours. You heard right. Not 3 months, not 3 weeks, 3 days. That's what analysts would later call the real-time fashion model. Fashion in real time, adjusted minute by minute according to customer behavior. Who can top that? By 2018, Shein was offering over 9,000 items weekly, and all over the world, teenage girls would discover a brand that seemed to know what they wanted before they even said it. But behind this extraordinary efficiency lies a ruthless logic. Shein takes no industrial risks. Designs that don't sell are quickly taken down, while popular ones are mass-produced within hours. It's the end of creative instinct and the triumph of test and data, experimentation and data analysis. No longer made for beauty, but for function. In the Nankin offices, screens display real-time statistics from around the world, trends, rising colors, and the most ordered sizes. All is measured, compared, and optimized. This desire-anticipating machine will take Shein to the next level. In 2020, the brand will surpass Zara and H&M on Google Trends, then becomes the most downloaded fashion app in the world. Between 2018 and 2020, revenue will jump from $2 to $10 billion. But behind the rapid growth, another truth emerges. As Shein speeds up, its system grows more fragile. When people get used to instant access to everything, what happens when that comes at a cost? The world halts, streets empty, shops close, fashion shows are canceled. As the industry collapses, one name rises: Shein. Remember, we were stuck at home overnight and had never experienced that before. The president said we are at war. The shortages at the supermarket, the plastic cases, the applause at the windows, the hand sanitizer, and the panic every night. With death toll announcements from Jérôme Salomon, then Director General of Health, everyone wanted an escape, to enjoy life, even if just through a package. Luckily, we had the internet. I started this TikTok channel at that time. A new trend was about to be born: the Shein haul, videos of young girls unpacking 50 items for 150 euros, laughing, comparing, trying things on. Each video would become free advertising, each haul a more powerful acquisition tool than any marketing campaign. Shein pays little or nothing, relying on customers as its top salespeople. Within months, Shein became the world's most searched fashion term. The app will actually surpass Amazon on the American Apple Store. Its website will record more than 200 million monthly visitors, and its sales will climb by 250%. Behind this success is a strong strategy. Shein uses TikTok style expertly: quick videos, bright colors, fun filters, and bargain prices. It's digital dopamine in a package. While Western brands are cutting their advertising budgets, Shein will invest in social commerce. Its algorithms will monitor trends, identify micro-influencers, and send them products for free. As a result, in 2021, Shein will generate more than $15 billion in sales and will become the fastest-growing fast fashion company in history. However, this global success has a price, as investigations begin emerging from all sides. Abusive working conditions in subcontracted workshops, suspected forced labor in Xinjiang, in counterfeiting of thousands of small Western designers. Facing a trial in the United States for massive textile pollution, accused as a major fast fashion offender.
You can see cows grazing on the mountain of waste. They feed on fabric and textile waste.
Up to 10,000 new items produced daily, with little transparency on suppliers, raw materials, or manufacturing standards. Some consumer analysts report certain products may have dangerously high chemical levels, including lead. Shein, known for fun, affordable fashion, is now becoming the face of fast fashion without conscience. Surprisingly, despite scandals, sales keep rising. Consumers complain but still buy, and Shein is aware of this. Outrage fades quickly. Soon the world will move on to something new, a brand everyone critiques yet still uses. A modern contradiction. A bit like so-called trash television shows like Touche pas à mon poste, which everyone criticizes, but every night they dominate. Competition is about supply and demand, and Shein is just meeting that demand. Buy quicker for less. But this model will soon reach its limits. After conquering the digital world, Chris now aims to conquer the real world. A whole different story. On October 1st, 2025, the newspaper Le Monde shakes up the retail sector with its headline, Shein, the Chinese fast fashion company, is going to open its first stores in several cities across France. This announcement is going to have a bombshell effect in France. Local officials, NGOs, environmental groups, and shopkeepers will protest a brand accused of major pollution and unfair competition. Several members of parliament are going to question the government to request an investigation into the social, fiscal, and environmental impact of Shein. For over a decade, Shein operated solely online, a brand without a storefront or address, built on servers and algorithms. But in 2023, everything changes as Shein steps out of the virtual world for the first time. Pop-up stores will spring up in New York, Los Angeles, London, and Miami. Shein will open its first permanent physical store in France in 2025. And now you must be wondering why this change of direction. The answer comes down to three words: credibility, trust, and visibility. Despite record sales, Shein has a vague image and lacks trust. People can't buy, touch, or check the quality. And above all, faced with increasing regulations and controversies, the giant understands that it needs to change its image, especially since France is preparing an anti-fast fashion law that could impose an environmental penalty on the brand, the most polluting ones, and the European Union is considering a textile environmental passport. Shein must protect its image to survive in Europe, using physical stores as communication tools. Bright places, decorated like TikTok studios, where every wall is designed to be photographed. Customers no longer come just to shop, they come to film, share, and post. But the problem is that, among the stubborn Gauls, Shein was not out of trouble yet. This strategy is highly criticized. Multiple organizations accuse the company of encouraging overconsumption among teenage girls. Feminist groups denounce clothes that are considered too sexualized for minors. Even the government is involved. As I record this, it has asked the courts to suspend the site for 3 months. Shein now has to answer these questions since it opened a physical store in France at Bazaar de l'Hôtel de Ville-Marais. In central Paris, it can no longer hide and is now exposed to attack. It happened quickly. After the opening was announced, parliament members called for a suspension, while local shopkeepers protested unfair competition. Shein bypasses value-added tax by shipping each package from Shein legally, but at prices that are impossible to match. Professional federations are demanding immediate reform. What was meant as a credibility strategy is now media chaos. While Bazaar de l'Hôtel de Ville owner Frédéric Merlin appears on television to showcase the operation's modernity, France finds out from the evening news that Shein is shamelessly selling dolls with pedophilic characteristics and even weapons. But the craziest thing is that nothing stops the machine. The accusations against Shein also apply to Temu, Wish, and AliExpress, sites popular with the French. Despite the controversy, look at the opening footage. The line outside the store resembles an iPhone launch. Why? Because deep down, Shein hasn't just mastered data, it has mastered the pace of the world. It realized consumers prefer instant novelty over sustainable fashion. They want to like, wear, and post. Now, the main takeaway isn't just that Shein is fast. We already knew that. But in the long run, it's not speed that wins, it's mastering the pace. Despite the bad press, the store was crowded. When money is tight, convictions fade. And unfortunately, the law of supply and demand often outweighs morals. But that's also why those who choose to create a sustainable, profitable, and responsible model, like Holskern, our partner, will always have a head start.
Stop criticizing Shein shoppers. They may not afford other options. I'm a customer about once a month. I spend around 40 euros a month, and I've never found a t-shirt for €1. Regarding people's opinions, I bought pants at Kiabi for 20 euros to support local stores. And inside, when I wanted to wash it, it said made in Bangladesh. So I don't see why I should pay more somewhere else. I've been ordering for 3 years, and I've had the clothes for 3 years, so stop saying it's crap. I have health insurance at 120 euros. That doesn't even reimburse me for everything. My rent is 500 euros, and my electricity bills are 200 euros and rising. Stop judging people for shopping at Shein. They just can't afford other options.
So, in your opinion, can Shein still evolve? And what role do we have to play in this? One thing is clear. Shein is more than a clothing brand. It's a reflection of a fast-paced, connected, and contradictory world. But it wasn't the first to adopt this model. Tati, a French empire. This one, created on noble ideals, fell into a trap it dug itself, as you can see in the video that's showing.